Let's get all these other ones. Mike Bear Fan, Lions Villain Squad, NFC North Main Event, Detroit Lions Podcast. Boom. All right.
I like the one with Sean Payton, like Mr. Miyagi.
That was Elise Memes.
Was that Elise? Yeah.
Yeah, that was her. Yeah, she comes up with pretty cool shit.
She had a roast post that I was gonna send to you, but I didn't. It was, that one meme where the guy's sitting at the table and it says something and then it says "change my mind."
Yeah.
She had one that said, "Ohio State fans that live in Michigan shouldn't be allowed to root for the Lions."
Oh, about ready to get this thing started.
What's up, Will?
It's the NFC North Open Mic. Mike's ready to roast some people. I hope that you're in here tonight.
Yeah.
Hope we got some representation. Let's see if we got anybody in there already. Yeah, Vogel's already in there. He's ready.
Ready, buddy. Panthers get their second win of the season. Will's the first one in. I'm gonna have to ask Will about his chances of beating the Packers next week. I love that comment from Jordan right off the bat. What's up, John? John M. Moise.
You liked it. You liked it.
Go Lions, David. Flea flicker on the double reverse. How about that? Your first interception off of Patrick Mahomes on a national stage. What's up, Smitty? What's up, Steve? Rebecca, welcome to the show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the NFC North Open Mic Night. This is not a safe space. We are here to roast with the most. I am Main Event Mike, your host, along with the producer, Mr. Russell Wayne. How are you, Russ?
Russell is fine. I always forget to do the other part right there, which is the background. I gotta throw the NFC North background in there. But we're broadcasting live.
That's
into
right.
the Detroit Lions Villain Squad, under the YouTube page, Mike the Bear Fan, NFC North Main Event, all of those spots at the exact same time.
What about Detroit Lions News? Are we going in there?
Oh yeah, well, the news podcast.
They have changed it. It's a page, right?
It's the Detroit Lions News Podcast,
and we're going in there too as well, right?
Correct.
All right. Well, thank you to all of those wonderful platforms for allowing us to be in with you tonight. It's NFC North Open Mic Night, and it's Victory Monday for the Detroit Lions. Not so much for the other three teams in this division. Packers lose, Bears lose, Vikings lose. Lions dominate the Denver Broncos. We are going to talk about all of that. We're going to have some special guests on the show. We're going to talk to our people in the comments. But before we do all of that, we're going to do what we always do, and it's a segment that we call Roast Posts. What do we got in Roast Posts tonight, Russ?
All right. We are going to start right here.
And
I know this was from last week. You say it was on there, but I don't care. That's pretty damn funny.
It is, because that is the Karen. That is the official Karen hairdo that they put on Patrick Mahomes there. And he's still, he's still shook about that call. But I don't understand why when you see the replay and you see the guy was clearly offsides. And by the way, we had one of our regulars on the morning show this morning asking about the Denver offsides. And I went back and looked at it. Of course, the guard was lined up offsides. You have to have your helmet in line with the center's belt or your shoulder pads in line with the center's belt. Your head cannot be in the zone where the ball is. It was egregious. It was egregious. In the groups, these Packer fans are making all kinds of excuses, but I'm sure they won't be around tonight to talk about it. I love this one. I love this one from RG3. Jared Goff managed the shit out of this game. Of course, that's in response to Jared Goff being called a game manager by camera. What's his name? What's his name? Crap, I can't even think his name. Cam Newton.
Okay, yeah, Cam Newton right
Cam
there.
Newton.
Before we go into the next one right there, I am throwing the link into the comments right now for you guys to join the show because we're going to do these roast posts. And yeah, we want you guys on here too as we're going through the, here comes the arrogant Packer.
Yeah. And what did we say? We've shown the Packer flow chart before. And that is when the Packers win, they come in and gloat. When they lose, they talk about the past. And that's exactly what they're doing here. Ruel Smith Jr. Trying to show the Lions Super Bowl trophy case. So he's roasting the Lions a little bit, but hard to do, Ruel, when your team lost and our team win. This just seems like sour grapes deflecting to me. But you're right. We've never won a Lombardi trophy, so you've got that.
No, but they do love to brag about their 13 championships.
Yeah, and
let's go on.
And they'll have plenty of time to count them since they won't be in the playoffs. They'll have plenty of time to go count all those trophies.
All right, well, there we go. We have a couple of these arrogant ones right there. Right, you know, and we'll never see one of those.
Well, put that one back, would you? Because just like trying to read it makes my eye twitch. Let dead this now, Lions fans. I don't think, it doesn't hit as hard, bro, when you can't speak English.
Acknowledge me.
Let dead this now, Lions fans.
Let dead this.
See this.
What is this, fucking Shakespeare?
How about hooked on phonics, you Packer retard? All right, Ruel.
Let dead this now, Lions fans.
Let dead this now.
Let dead this now, Lions fans. That's how you're supposed to read it.
In that entitled monarchy voice, because we're all peasants.
Let dead this now,
Lions fans. Ruel's hot today. This has been a public service message that the Lions and Vikings have not won a Super Bowl, but we're going to win the division. The Vikings did last year, so suck on that. What's next?
Well, it's just more of this. You're right. It's the phase where all the Packer fans talk about the past now. I mean,
exactly what they do. We should have that flow chart handy at all times. We'll have it next week, folks. The Green Bay flow chart. When they win, they gloat. When they don't, it's all about the past. And that's what we're seeing here.
I mean, you could read this like that too. Packer family, we can afford to let Detroit in the playoffs. Don't worry. They're not going to go far. We'll take it back over next year.
Yeah. Oh, you're letting us in the playoffs, are you?
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. By losing to Tommy DeVito and Baker Mayfield, you're letting us in the playoffs. Somebody called Baker Mayfield Johnny Manziel Part 2.0. You lost it. Dude, they hung 34 on you. Shut up.
Yeah. But you know what? We do acknowledge that they did just whip our ass on our own home turf, but it doesn't seem like you really acknowledge that we whipped your ass on your home turf earlier, like this roast post says.
Yeah, Lou Campbell. It's hilarious, the selective memory you clown-ass Packer fans have. All you want to talk about is, because I'll tell you, look at some of these names on here. Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson, Gus Edwards and Keaton Mitchell. I'd rather have Roshan Johnson and Khalil Herbert than those guys. I'd rather have Aaron Jones and
like that?
A.J. Dillon than those guys. I'm not sure about that. Even Najee Harris and Jalen Warren, a couple of bums.
Oh
Next.
no.
What's next?
Oh God. What? Oh man.
This is a high school photo from Robert Bertana. How we all see Packer fans is that sitting on the toilet eating sponge cake. Oh no, that's cheese.
Or
My bad.
That's gotta be
It's
cheese.
cheese. It's
It's
cheese.
cheese.
This is how we all see Packer fans.
But Mike, before we get into this last roast post, well, I guess there's a couple of them
You
here.
mean there's more?
There's a couple more of them right here, but I want to bring on Will Vogel before we as the first guest on here while I get into this one. Right as he comes.
That is hilarious.
How you like that, Will?
Hey,
like
it's
that?
us this year.
They took the ferociousness out of the Panther. This is Will's graphic here. Will's a Panther fan. Welcome to the show, Will Vogel. You got your second win as a Panther, and I know that when it comes to the NFC North, you like the Lions better than any other team. Do we got one more roast post to go before we talk to Will?
I mean, we got that. I mean, this one was actually made from a couple. I think it was like last week, but it was like, we're gonna win out, Tommy DeVito. We're gonna win out, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Well, we're gonna, never mind.
Never mind.
Whatever.
and believe me, Will, we really want to put Bryce Young in that graphic next week.
You should.
Yeah. So, what do you like Carolina's chances at home against the Pack next week?
You know what? Why not? Why not play upset for the third straight week?
Right.
You lose to Tommy Cutlets.
You lose to Baker, you lose to Tommy Cutlets. You can lose. We roasted him pretty good at the beginning of the year. Love stinks and all that stuff that we did. But hey, the kids made a believer out of me, even in a losing effort. He had 111.5 passer rating. It was 29-39 with 2 touchdowns. And the kid looks smooth in the 5-step drop. What did you see in this game, Will?
Well, I was actually at work, but what I saw was you shouldn't. Tampa Bay is far and away the best team in the NFC South because Atlanta is hit or miss. New Orleans is hit or miss because Derek Carr has been banged up all year.
He's a bum anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And Carolina, of course, got a long way to go.
The Falcons are hit or miss, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
And Carolina's in a rebuild phase. So Tampa, I'm not saying they're amazing, but they're the best team in the NFC South.
Yeah, that's a good take.
Division, they're the best team.
That's a good take. And coming out of the Green Bay game, that's your takeaway, I think, is a great take as well, because this was a Green Bay team that was fighting to stay alive in the playoffs. They were at home. On paper, they look like a better team. Jordan Love should be a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield, and Baker Mayfield just looked like the second coming of Tom Brady against them. So I agree with that take, Will, and I think it's an awesome take that, hey, what did I learn from this game? I learned that Tampa Bay is probably going to win their division. And that 20-6 win by the Lions looks even better against that for all these haters that say the Lions can't beat a winning team. So good call out there. Lions 42, Broncos 17. That's how we'll segue into it. Did you get to watch this game, Will?
I did. I got home just in time. I loved this game. Favorite game of the weekend by far. As you guys know, the Lions are my NFC North team. And you know what? Gibbs is producing by catching and running the ball. But Sam Laporta, this guy in his rookie year is the 8th rookie in NFL history to score 3 different touchdowns in a game. And he has 13
total.
He is, I think, 4 or 5 away from tying Mike Ditka's tight end rookie touchdown record. And he has 318 yards from tying the receiving tight end rookie record, also held by Mike Ditka. And you know what? He is playing better than actually some of the best tight ends in the league. I think he's playing a whole lot better than Kelsey, Kittle. I know this sounds crazy. I know this is a bold take. I think he's a top 5 tight end already in this league.
I think you're spot on. And I think if he has 3 more weeks like he's had this whole season, he's going to be a Pro Bowler or excuse me, an all-pro tight end. They won't be able to deny him. If he at least scores 3 or 4 more touchdowns in this next 3-game stretch, it'll be the most prolific tight end season in NFL history, hands down. Go ahead.
And I was telling people on shows, sorry to interrupt. I was telling people on shows, I said, if not for CJ Stroud having this phenomenal rookie year, Sam Laporta is the second best rookie. I know you got the guy from Green Bay, but I think Laporta is way better than him. I think Laporta would have won Rookie of the Year if it wasn't for CJ Stroud.
Right, and CJ Stroud at this point looks like a shoe-in for it, but he didn't play last week, right? And if he continues to stay injured and keep missing, he hasn't done enough yet to secure that award, in my opinion. But if he keeps going the way he is, CJ Stroud is going to run away with Offensive Rookie of the Year, hands down. But if he doesn't, you got to consider Laporta in that conversation as well. And I love that call out, Will.
I think the Lions have 2 guys who finish in the top 5 in voting, Gibbs and Laporta for offensive rookie.
Even if CJ Stroud wins it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you look at Sam Laporta, top 5. And you look at Sam Laporta, a 2nd-round draft pick as well, where the Lions have not hit in the 2nd round historically. And now he's just doing it, kicking the door open for that. I love it. Brent Adams here in the comment says, Sam Laporta, first-team all-pro tight end. If not, why? Yeah, right. The only way that he doesn't get it, I see, Brent, is if he falters in these last 3 games and some other tight end just blows it up. Because he is definitely on
the guy's
fire.
Dynamic.
Definitely. Russ, what do we got? We got anyone else trying to come in here?
Not yet. I was looking for that Sam Laporta. I was looking for that Sam Laporta graphic, but I couldn't find it. But I do have this one right here. I mean, if we want to talk about the best running back, I couldn't believe.
I do, but I want to ask Will about this question from Detroit Fan Man first. Will, we heard, I know you're down there in Carolina. Mm-hmm. We heard that it was 5,200 people in the stadium and tickets as low as 45 cents each. Can you confirm that?
It is true. Tickets were terribly cheap.
The Panthers broke the low attendance rate. They broke the record for lowest attendance, Will.
I went to 2 games this year, and man, we're a terrible team. We're in a rebuilding phase. Normally, I saw a video. It made me kind of tear up. It was like, Panthers in 2013. Yeah. Panthers now. But, yeah, terrible attendance. Like, I can get it, understand it, because we're a rebuilding team. But as an ownership, and I think Tepper's a horrible owner. I think ownership is probably upset. They're probably like, dude, we need to sell tickets. But, yeah. I wouldn't have gone either.
And they won. Only 5,200 people there, and they won. So hopefully when Green Bay comes back, there'll be some more Panthers there next week. And hopefully Carolina can get their 3rd win of the season. Because, by the way, folks, Carolina winning screws the Bears too. Okay? So if they beat Green Bay, they'll screw the Bears too. As a Lions or Vikings fan, you got to love that outcome. So you know that 2 of these fan bases are going to be rooting for the Carolina Panthers next week, and I know you will too.
Go on a streak.
Do you want me to stay on the rest of the show? I'm free.
Yeah. I want you to stay on the rest of the show. I love that Budweiser shirt you're wearing there, though.
Thanks. But our guy.
I didn't say I wanted you to talk, Will. I just said I wanted you to be on here. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. What were you gonna say?
Our guy Jeremy is sending me a Lions shirt sooner or later.
Who?
Our guy Jeremy.
Who?
You know.
Never heard of her. Anyway, moving on. What was it? There's a running back duo is what we're talking about, right, Russ? Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Best running back duo in the NFL, Montgomery and Gibbs, 185 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs averaging 9.1 yards per carry in the game. David Montgomery, 5 yards per carry. Very, very respectable. And that just opened things up for Jared Goff to throw for 278 yards and 5 touchdowns. Jared Goff, of course, a 134.6 passer rating. And honestly, with all due respect to what Will said about Laporta and what you're saying there about the running backs, my vote for the Lion of the game's got to be Jared Goff. You don't have those kind of stats without being in the conversation as the most valuable player in that game. He was 24 of 34. That's a great completion percentage, which is above the league average. And Jared Goff bouncing back after a dismal 3-week stretch leading up to this game. What did you see from Jared Goff, Will? Did you like it?
The Jared Goff from earlier this year. The good Jared Goff. The proficient passer Jared Goff. The guy tied his career high in touchdown passes. No turnovers. No forcing the ball in a tough window. The guy was on point from each pass I saw. And you know what? The team just played really well around him. He's the leader of the offense, as we know. And can I hop on Gibbs and Montgomery real quick?
Yeah, do it.
I love Gibbs and Montgomery. Excuse me. I think Gibbs is so much fun to watch because he is a McCaffrey Kamara. He's a guy who could catch and run. And he has that second burst of speed, and he makes those cuts. And Montgomery is a good first running back because he can run for 100 yards almost every game, it seems like.
Tough runner between the tackles, breaks tackles like no one else.
And then, like, you know what? It kind of, I know this sounds weird, but it kind of reminds me of when the Panthers had D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart. We used to call them Thunder and Lightning. Mm-hmm. That's what I think Gibbs and Montgomery are. Lightning and Thunder.
I love that you mentioned that.
They're just like one's power and we'll get 5 yards per carry, where Gibbs is like, gone.
You're right, and he does have that extra gear. He does have that extra gear.
Everyone says Behan's the best running back in the draft, and I like Behan, but I think Gibbs is having a way better year than Behan.
I like that you mentioned
like the mustard.
Bijan.
Bijan mustard. I love that you mentioned Jonathan Stewart and D'Angelo Williams. That was, of course, 2009, 2007 maybe. But anyway, that was the last running back duo in the NFL to run for 1,000 yards each. And right now, Gibbs and Montgomery sitting at around 750 yards each. So absolutely within reach for these guys in the last 3 games to each reach 1,000 yards. And that would be very, very special.
I think if they're going to get it. I think they're going to get it. I think they're going to break it.
Yeah. You think they're going to get it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Brian DeWitt says Gibbs Montgomery tops in the league for running back duo. Love that call. Detroit fan man, this game just confirmed that Goff is as good as his line. That line was excellent. And as long as that offensive line can keep Jared Goff clean, he can win football games because he's not going to be thrown over. When he gets pressured, he tends to make mistakes, and we need to keep him upright and clean in the pocket. Go ahead, Will. Sorry.
No, I interrupted. That was my bad. 4 out of 5 starters starting. We are missing Ragnar. But you know what? The team adjusted perfectly. They said, oh, okay, Frank's out. I was a little worried, but you know what? What can you say? The offense, in my opinion, looked almost near perfect.
Right. I don't know who Brian's calling an idiot here. Brent DeWitt says, no shit, Panthers winning screws the Bears draft picked idiot. Oh, I get it. It screws the Bears draft pick idiot. Oh, their draft pick idiot would probably be their general manager, Ryan.
Is that their draft pick's name, idiot?
I think that's a job description. That's what that is.
It is.
Jordan says, what's your preference for tonight's game? Seattle loss, and the Lions will clinch a wild card spot if Seattle loses, or Seattle wins, and then we keep our number 1 seed hopes alive because that'll mean a Philadelphia loss, and that gets us closer to the number 1 seed. Honestly, to answer that question, Jordan, I'm gonna go with the Seattle beating Philly is what I'm hoping for. And it has nothing to do with us backing into the playoffs. It's more.
Hail to the king, baby.
I don't think that the San Francisco 49ers are going to be able to be caught for the number 1 seed. So therefore, Philadelphia winning doesn't do us a whole lot of good. It's going to be Dallas or Philadelphia if we're sitting there with the 3rd seed. So I need to get the 2nd seed. So I want Philadelphia to lose so we can leapfrog them or beat Dallas. Somewhere in there, we need to leapfrog them. I don't want to be the 3rd seed. I'd rather be the 2nd seed because Philly and Dallas, I don't want to play them in the playoffs. We're already going to have to play
playoffs
weeks before that. So I don't want Dallas to be our opponent so close together. So there's my answer to that question.
Dallas is going to lose next week already.
No question about it. I am ready to get hurt again.
Will, do you want to see Philly or Seattle win tonight?
Honestly, it's a toss-up because Jalen Hurts is playing with flu-like symptoms. So and Seattle, as of what I heard like 30 minutes ago, Geno said he's ready to go, but they haven't really declared a starter yet. But they're dressing all 3 quarterbacks in the scenario that Geno doesn't. But I honestly don't care. I just know Dallas is gonna absolutely get annihilated next week.
Steve,
you think so, huh? In their building, the Lions are going to go in there and annihilate the Cowboys? Is that what you're saying?
I thought it was Dallas versus Miami.
Oh, it is. It's Dallas versus Miami. Okay.
Yeah, I got Miami by 2 touchdowns.
God, I hope you're wrong. I don't want them coming off 2 bad losses to play the Lions. Go ahead, Russ.
Well, I want to defend myself here. All right, Steve, you are not blocked on this fan site. I think that you're making excuses because you don't actually want to come on a show and take this smoke because you're not blocked here. You're not blocked from the villain squad. I don't know. He's saying that he can't. We love Steve, but you can't. You are not blocked, Steve.
Yeah. No, Bill. Butthurt Bill might have blocked you, but we didn't.
Yeah. So if you use the link, I'm going to put the link back out there. We'll see if this one can magically work this time. I'm going to put this link on there. This link worked really, really well for Will. Will was able to join right off the bat, and he's not blocked. Nobody is blocked.
I never would be.
We are live. Hold on 1 second. We are live on Detroit Lions News Podcast. Mike the Bear Fan, Lions Villain Squad, NFC North Main Event, or Football Talk 365 Main Event 365. And you can join YouTube. Any one of those ways.
Yeah, on the YouTube.
There he is.
Main Event 365.
It says devices not detected.
Not connected.
Oh, come on. Anyway.
All right. Well, we gave him a shot. Maybe that's why he thinks he's blocked.
He might be coming in. Here he goes.
Here he comes.
Boom.
Boom. Welcome to the program, Steve.
Thank you.
So why'd you take the Israel out of your name?
Well, I just thought it would just be simple to be as Steve. You know, it's just simple. My name is Steve. The whole real is thing was getting old and whatever. I just thought, you know what? Everybody else is just using a first name. You know what? I'm just going to go with Steve.
All right, Steve. Well, it's a little more boring, but I always like the part of it. But
I thought, in other pods, I felt a lot of people was getting tired of it. And one thing I don't like to do, like this is your guys' show, like in the morning, and I don't like to hurt and disrespect shows and hurt people's shows and stuff like that. Wow. So I just try to do what's best for people's shows and whatever.
Right on. Well, let's talk about your team. Your team falls 34-20 to the Tampa Bay Baker Mayfields in their own building, eliminating themselves from contention to win this division. Well, give me your takeaway from these games, Steve. I love your football knowledge, not just your cool screen name. So tell me, what's your takeaway from this?
Well, I've been in other pods today earlier, and I've been hearing a lot of shit, and I felt that this whole deal was – I felt with the whole thing was Jair Alexander. I felt that I don't think this defense is comfortable and happy playing with Barry anymore. I mean, I think now there was a press conference with Matt LaFleur today, and he was asked, "Is Barry still your guy?" And he said, "Yeah." So I think at some point, because he kind of put more blame on the players in a way than he did Barry, and I think now there's a lot of Packer fans outside of me think that LaFleur is going to lose this team. That this team, I think it's could possibly it's going to get real ugly in Green Bay, especially. Go ahead.
What did LaFleur say?
If you go to his press conference, it's out there. He was asked if he was going to stick with Barry because everybody's is calling for Barry's head.
They are too. All these Packer fans are calling for Joe Barry's head. That is for sure. But I'm really surprised to hear you say that Matt LaFleur is going to lose this team because, I mean, hey, as a Lions fan, Steve, your team looks damn good for the future.
Well, there's talent. Well, that's the thing. There's talent here. I just think the offense is playing good. Yeah, like you've been saying. But I don't think this defense, especially, I kind of feel, and I could be wrong, but I feel Jair is not happy playing with this scheme with Barry. I know he's hurt or whatever. And I think I'm 50 years old. We're on the same age range. Whatever. And I've seen this happen before in sports, and I know you guys have too, to where if I think Jair is a team leader of this team on defense, and if I don't think he's comfortable with this, I think the other players are going to fall. I mean, we got torched. I mean, everybody's bringing up, if you guys saw it, the David Moore touchdown. Mm-hmm. That was pitiful. Mm-hmm. And it was 2nd and 29.
And you let him convert. You let him convert a 2nd and 29. Yeah, that's tough.
That kind of brings me back to when against the Eagles when it was 4th and 26, and Mike Vick gets a first down.
Yeah, but Steve, you're not you are the youngest team in the NFL.
Right.
Isn't that a little encouraging? I mean, your team is set up pretty well.
I love the talent here. I mean, I think Kraft is going to be our next Mark Chmura. I mean, he's playing excellently well. I mean, I'm going to give all the props to Laporta. I mean, I ain't going to take nothing away from that guy at all. But I'm loving the way Kraft is coming around. And I love the way these receivers are coming around. Yeah. Reed, Wicks is a damn baller.
Yeah, or even Romeo Dobbs even. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, I think Malik Heath is going to be a stud.
He balled out on Thanksgiving. Malik Heath was the lion killer in that game. And yesterday it was Dontavian Wicks the last 2 weeks. This kid looks for real. And then you throw in Romeo Dobbs, who's a solid number 2. Christian Watson, if he can ever get that hamstring finish, he's going to be a solid X receiver. And, you didn't even mention Luke Musgrave or Jaden Reed, right? These rookies are showing out. These are young weapons. You guys are set. All you need to do now is draft or get some free agents on that offensive line and some depth on the secondary, and you're Super Bowl contenders again, even with Jordan Love coming into his second year starting next year.
Well, the thing that's on the table right now is what's going on with Joe Barry and this defense and everything else. And with LaFleur kind of like saying it's the players and stuff. And this is where a lot of fans were saying today that they feel that, especially now, if we lose to the Panthers this week, this is going to be so interesting. Everything is going to be on LaFleur's head. And a lot of people saying, like I think A-Dub said it this morning on your show, Russell, that a lot of this is going to go down to Matt LaFleur, where he could be going out the door with Joe Barry.
Wouldn't that be something? I mean, now that Aaron Rodgers isn't there, Matt LaFleur is not so great anymore, according to the fans. Can you see this graphic up there, Steve?
Yeah, which team in the North is set up best for the future?
So like what you and I were just talking about. Way to go, Russ. That's why Russ is the maestro right there. He knows exactly when to throw that graphic in, because we are talking about what team for the future. We're talking about the future. Obviously, I think it's the Lions that set up the best for the future, and I think that the Packers are right there behind them, and I think the Bears are right behind the Packers, and that puts Minnesota last. Will Vogel, I want to kick this over to you. Put them in order for me. Who do you think is shaping up best when you look at what they've done, the salary cap implications, their draft order coming up next year, who they've already got under contract? Who do you think set up best for the future out of these four? And put them in order for me.
I agree. I got Lions number one. You got young pieces like Hotch, Laporta, Gibbs. Monty's still fairly young. Got Raw. Yeah, I think it's Lions. I agree. Packers, you got a bunch of young stud receivers. Like you said, Mike, I agree. If you get some solid O-line pieces and some help on the defense, this team will be fighting for an NFC North and a playoff spot in the future for years to come.
Playoffs.
Followed by that, it is the Bears. I do still think they need to move on from Justin Fields, but they are definitely. And then the Vikings. I agree. The same order. I think Minnesota is in deep trouble because a lot of their defense is out. Older guys like Harrison Smith.
Yes.
Those guys. Minnesota has Kirk Cousins. Yeah, and then I don't believe in the trust of Alexander Madison. And then, yes, you got Justin Jefferson, who's one of the best receivers in the NFL, and you got Jordan Addison, who's a stud. But I agree, same order: Lions, Bears. Lions, Packers, Bears, Vikings.
Steve, same question to you.
Oh my.
Well, I gotta ask Mike, Russ. I asked you a question. I'm gonna say if. I'm gonna throw the word if in there. I mean, I agree. I think Detroit is the front runner, but if there's a chance that they lose Ben Johnson, would this team be the same? Now, I'm asking you guys.
That's a great question. Let's assume that he's there for this exercise and give me the order.
Well, I say Lions. And then next year is going to be, I have to admit, it's going to be a toss-up because we're the youngest team. The Bears' defense is looking stellar. Ours is in shambles. Vikings' defense is stellar. So,
yeah, that's a good call.
In a way, I kind of maybe got to put them in the front of us. Until we get shit straightened out, I can't put us up there yet. I can't.
That's why you're such a great fan, Steve. I love that take. Thanks for being honest. Looking here in the comments, some guy named John says Lions, then Packers, Bears, Vikings, same as what Will and I have. Detroit Fan Man just says, yeah. I think that's for Steve.
Yeah.
What's next, Maestro? Oh, wait, before we go on, did you want to chime in on that, Russ?
I mean, I can echo. It's just kind of shaping out how, we were kind of talking about it at the beginning of the season with, them losing a lot of talent. Now, I mean, I got to give the Vikings some credit because they have done more with what they had left over than what we thought. I mean, they're actually the best out of all of these other teams right now. And they've been doing it with Josh Dobbs and Nick Mullins and Kirk Cousins and whatever they can, put together. So kudos to Brian Flores. They got a lot of young pieces too, but I still think all of the other teams are ahead of them when it comes to the long term, even though right now they're looking good.
And that might have something to do with my complete lack of confidence in Kwesi Adolfo-Mensa as well. The good things that he does kind of gets overshadowed by all the boneheaded things that he does. And I just don't have any faith in him moving forward. So I just don't. Anyway,
can I frame this one right
here?
Yeah. I mean, because this isn't just for Lion fan. Are you afraid that you can lose out because of the PTSOL, the post-traumatic same old Lions? Or do you think that just getting 1 out of 3 victories is that's a done deal? We're going to win the North. We're going to be in the playoffs. We're vying for a 1 seed. And if you're not a Lions fan, I mean, is this a real scenario? This seems to be a popular scenario. Oh, well, if the Vikings win out and the Lions lose out, then they would win the division. I was like, that's a 3-game if factory right there. And I don't know. I'm going to say, I don't think the Lions are going to lose out. I don't think there's a chance that they're going to lose out.
I agree. I think at worst they lose 1.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And that would be Dallas?
Yes.
Steve, you think the same, that they lose to Dallas, but they beat Minnie twice?
Yeah. They could. They could easily it's a division game. The division games always are always a dogfight.
Right.
They always are. No matter, like you said earlier this morning, you can't underlook Minnesota. You can't.
You cannot look past them. You cannot.
Right. Because Dan Campbell has struggled in Minnesota. That is a hard place to play. And you know what? On any road game, especially divisional games, do not count out your opponents, even if they have a horrible record. The Panthers were 1-12 and they played a 5-win team. Did I think they were going to win? No, but did they win? Yes.
Yeah,
So
actually, they played a 7-win team, but
do not look at the records.
Right.
No, it's the NFL.
It's a good point. That's a good point. And everybody circled Dallas as a loss. Buffalo ran right through them like a gas station burrito last night. 260 some yards rushing. Believe me, if Buffalo can do that, they don't have even half the running backs that we do. They do not have as good of an offensive line as we do.
The only thing that I think that will hurt the Lions is if they get some key significant injuries. If they can bar those, they should be good.
That's a good call. And they've been very lucky this year too, Steve. The Lions have. We've had a few injuries, but we haven't been hit as hard as some other teams. Go ahead, Russ.
Well, I mean, that's not true. I mean, we've been hit tremendously with the injury bug. We've been without 2/3 of our offensive line the entire year. We've had Gibbs out for multiple weeks. We've had Montgomery out for multiple weeks. We've lost Chauncey Gardner-Johnson for the entire season up until now. James Houston's been out for the entire part of the season, but yet the Lions have still found ways to win 10 of these games. And actually going forward, not only do we have our full complement of offensive line, but it looks like we're going to get Chauncey Gardner-Johnson back next week as well.
Look, what I said was they hadn't been hit as hard as some other teams, which is 100%.
Well, there's one guy.
Well,
I feel
we've overcame it. Yes.
Sure.
There's one guy. If this one guy gets hurt or take any whatever, is going to hurt the Lions, and that's exactly
right. But you could say that about any NFL team.
Right.
If the starting quarterback goes down, they're in trouble unless you're the Indianapolis Colts.
Right.
So there you go. I love that call out, though. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that's something we've been saying all year. If Jared Goff goes down, this team's in big trouble. No doubt about that. This whole offense was built around him. I know, and Will, I wanted to talk to you about this offline about Ben Johnson coming to Carolina. Do you have any, is the word on the street in Carolina, is there anything about Ben Johnson going around in the Panther fan bases?
There has been news. Supposedly Tepper's throwing a lot of money towards Ben Johnson's way. So there is rumors that we really like the appeal of Ben Johnson.
I heard David Tepper the word was gushing. He was gushing about Ben Johnson.
You know what? I would love Ben Johnson here, but I don't like Tepper. I want Tepper gone.
He owns the team, buddy.
I know
they
he
can
owns
just
the
fire
team.
him.
Get him out of there.
And I know people say, "Oh, of course you can't get rid of the owner." I'm like, yeah, I know that, but I don't like him as an owner.
I don't blame you. I don't drive Fords, but I still root for the Lions. All right, moving on. What do we got here?
You guys crack me up.
Lions are going to win out. Let's go, Scott Smith. I love it. Ken Fisher, Lions 13-4 does sound possible. Run the ball. Love it. I like this call from Rebecca. They'll beat the Vikings once and the Cowboys. So Rebecca thinks Lions go 2-1 in the final 3, split with the division rival, which I like that call, Russ. You know, I always say don't count on anything better than a split in the division. So if we split with Minnie and then we lose to Dallas, guess what? We're still the NFC North champs.
Right.
Okay? Because that graphic right there on your screen, magic number is 1. And if Seattle loses today, which they probably will, they're an underdog. Geno Smith is questionable whether he's even going to start. Then we will clinch a playoff spot. That's going to take a lot of pressure off. And I'm afraid that might cause the Lions to kind of let off the gas a little bit and maybe lose 2 of the last 3. I hope it isn't true, but that's definitely a possibility. It's a good call out, though, Rebecca. Thank you.
Here's something to think about, Mike, where, and this is when they say the magic number is 1. I mean, if the Vikings lose next week to the Packers when they play them, I think that's what happens. Yes, when the Vikings play the Packers and they lose, the Lions could lose all 3 of these games and still win a division.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if the Vikings lose at any point in time in the next 3 games, they're done.
And that would require the Packers. We'd have to root for the Packers to beat the Vikings in week 17.
Well, I mean, it's not going to go there because we're going to beat the Vikings on their home turf this weekend because our team's playing really, really well. And I don't think that the Vikings in their current state are the ones that are going to derail that.
Right. What do you got, Will?
No, I was like, I'm not voting for
I saw the
either of
Dikembe
those
Mutombo
teams.
finger. I didn't know what was going on there.
No, I was like, I'm not cheering for either of those teams.
Ken's asking a question. Who's the number 1 if the Lions, 49ers, and Eagles all finish 13-4? So first tiebreaker is head-to-head. And the Lions did not play either of these teams this year. And the next tiebreaker then goes to divisional record. So that's where these 2 games against the Vikings will be crucial. But I think the Niners have I think they're undefeated in their division, if I'm not mistaken. So that's how it goes, though, Ken. It's going to come down to divisional record between these 3 teams because we had no head-to-head. Now the Niners and the Eagles did go head-to-head with the Niners obliterating the Eagles. So
wouldn't that be conference?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's head-to-head. At first, it's head-to-head, then it's division, then it's conference.
Well, why would it be division when they're not in the same division? That's where I'm puzzled.
Oh, I don't know. I don't work for ESPN. I could be wrong. Steve, are you right there? Are you right on that?
Yeah, I think
it's conference.
Yeah,
is he right, Russ? Okay,
I think it's conference.
I'm sorry. You can't be good looking and smart, so I can't. I can't be right.
I know, right? That's
I'm wrong there. Then, so it's head to head, and then it's conference. Where's Jeremy B when you need him?
I haven't seen him.
I know he got butt hurt on our morning show. I haven't seen him since.
No.
We need him to come in and set us straight sometimes when I say something.
Well,
wrong.
you got his Padawan. That's okay.
Well, one thing I want to say to you Lion fans.
Damn it! Read the damn question that's on the screen for the love of God. Sorry.
I know I ain't.
I did read that question.
No, you didn't.
Isn't that what we've just been talking about?
Yeah,
Russell?
we just talked about that.
Who's the number 1 if the Lions, Niners, Eagles finish 13-4? I said it comes down to head-to-head. What are you talking about?
Oh, my God. Are you satisfied with your season? No one sees the graphic on there. That's been on there. What? It's been on there through the last 3 comments. You answered that comment. Then you answered another comment. Then you answered another comment. And it's like, gosh. I don't know.
Now I know. Okay, now I get it, Russ. I'm so sorry. This is why Russ takes himself off camera so that big vein in his forehead isn't bulging.
And I'm like, I am not going to let Steve fucking direct this show at this point right time, and no one's going to just see. Does anybody do you see that, Steve? Do you see it? Do you see it, Vogel? Do you see it? Do the people that are watching the show right now, the 20 people that are on YouTube that only 8 people have liked so far, and if you're watching one of those 20 people, you need to like the video that you're watching right now. And out of those 20 people, do you see the graphic that says, are you satisfied with your season?
As a Packer fan, what do you expect us to say?
Please.
Well, as a Packer fan, Steve, I expect A-Dub to say, yes, I'm satisfied with the season because I didn't have high expectations for this team. That's what I expect, some Packer fans to say. What say you?
Well, yeah, because like I said, me and A-Dub's been on the same page. We knew we was not a Super Bowl team this year, or even a playoff team. We knew that. It was a developmental year for this team the young squad to show what they have, and that's what I mean. I'm impressed with the young guys are doing. I love what our young guys are doing.
And if you win out, you could still get a wild card spot. So you're still in contention with 3 weeks left of the season. And I know you didn't expect that at the beginning of the year.
But that scares me.
But I like your answer, though. So your answer is, yeah, you are satisfied with it. I mean, you saw what you needed to see out of this year. This year produced what it needed to, and that was reps for your young quarterback where he didn't look atrocious.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no. I love him.
All right. I love it.
Yeah, the only one that was really eliminated from this graphic right here was the Bears, right? That's and then Giants got beat too, right?
Giants lost to the Saints.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Giants and
Atlanta,
the Bears and Atlanta.
Bears are out. Bears are out. Giants are out. Green Bay's got a pulse. Rams got a pulse. Atlanta's got a pulse. First of all, Atlanta and New Orleans aren't even, they should both be out of this graphic because Tampa Bay now in the lead. No two teams from that division are going to make it. Only one team is going to the playoffs from that division.
Right.
Rams,
well, you might get the Saints. I mean, the
Rams
Saints
are 7.
are still there.
The reason you put them in that graphic is because they were all vying for the division lead. So, I mean, really, you could change this graphic and take out the Buccaneer emblem and just put NFC South winner.
Well, the Saints are 7-7. The Vikings are 7-7. The Seahawks are trying to get the 7-7. The Rams are 7-7.
Yeah, you're right.
Can you guys get the number 2 spot?
We can get the number 1 spot.
We are still alive with some San Francisco losses. We could still get the number 1 spot. San Francisco still has to play the Baltimore Ravens at home, and then they go at Washington, and then they're back at home against the Rams. And the Rams, according to one of our comments here, couldn't the 49ers, Ken Fisher, lose their 4th game against the Rams? They absolutely could lose that game against Matt Stafford. And wouldn't that be something if Matt Stafford had to come to Ford Field for a playoff game against the Lions? Woo-hoo.
I want that.
Yeah, you do, you Steven? Are you rooting for the Rams in that game?
Well, no. The thing is, if that's money. That's going to be stellar.
Yeah,
golf versus Stafford, the 2 quarterback trade thing.
Yeah,
that's going to make money.
You're right. And watch, the NFL might just line things up to make that happen.
So here's your one that was out there that you put a poll up, Mike, and you got a great response on this poll that was out there. But I like this question. I like this. Yeah,
we had 500 votes on the Villain Squad page, and I think we had like another over 200 votes on the Lions main event group page. So over 700 votes for this poll question, and overwhelmingly the homers said yes, that Aiden Hutchinson is an elite player. There were a lot of things in the comments, one of them being that he commands a double team in every game. That, by proxy, that right there by definition makes him an elite player. You don't double team non-elite players. Otherwise somebody's unblocked. So you have to double Aiden Hutchinson every game. That makes him elite. However, there's some of these Lion fans even that say that Aiden Hutchinson is not elite. Greg Rice, our good friend, the West Coast stat master, one of those who says that Aiden Hutchinson is not an elite defensive end yet. He takes a look at guys like Wilkerson in Cincinnati. Even Montez Sweat, he puts ahead of Aiden Hutchinson and not an elite player. So let me ask you, Will Vogel, is Aiden Hutchinson what you would consider an elite defensive end?
It's his, 3rd year in the NFL or second?
It's his 2nd year. He was a rookie last year. He had 9.5 sacks as a rookie last year. He got 5.5 this year. Yeah. He leads a team in sacks, which is 28th collectively in the league.
You know what? I would. I think he is because he killed it absolutely in college. He had a great rookie year, and he, like you said, he commands double teams. He is a defensive leader. Yes, he's not the elder statesman on the team, but you know what? That guy puts in work day in and day out. Yeah.
Like a beast.
In my eyes, he's definitely
Steve, is Aiden Hutchinson an elite defensive end in this league?
Yeah, I see him as another Boza.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good call. And here's another thing, folks. Defensive ends traditionally have a sophomore slump. It's usually year 3 that they break out. But you know, guys like Greg and them are saying some things that I just can't abide with. They're saying that Kayvon Thibodeau is a better defensive end than Aiden Hutchinson. They're saying that Trayvon Walker is a better defensive end than Aiden Hutchinson. None of those guys get double teamed on a
Thank you.
Defense. None of them. So I don't know how I mean, if you're just looking at a sack total in the box score, then he's not elite this year. But overall, in the grand scheme, I don't see how you could not label him as an elite player. Russell, what's your take on that?
I think that he's in his second year. I think he's still learning, and he is demanding double teams. So I'm one of the people that says that he isn't there yet, but he is progressing to that. I mean, he has the work ethic, the motor to hit it. Maybe he is at that level right now. He's there by the end of the year, but there's no reason he can't be. You know, he commands double teams. So I think he's on his way.
We are coming up against it here. We got just a few more minutes before we got to shut it down. I'd like to remind everyone to head over to the Lions Villain Squad page. Follow the page, please.
Vote.
Yes, and vote on that poll if you think Aiden Hutchinson is an elite defensive end in this league. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Main Event 365. We are really trying. We've crossed over 600 subscribers now, so we're trying to grow that channel. We put most of our resources and time into Facebook because it's just so accessible to all of our people, but we really, really want to pump up that YouTube channel. Please go over there and subscribe. And don't forget, if there's somebody on your Christmas list that wants NFL gear, we are an official licensed affiliate marketing partner of NFL Shop, and the link is in the description. You can save an additional 25% by using the main events link, which is in the description. And you could go to WWE Shop, get one of them awesome Detroit Lions belts. Looks like Mike the Bear fan trying to join in. Mike, sorry, buddy. We got to get up. We're out of here because we're going to go watch. We're going to go watch the Seahawks and the Philadelphia Eagles. So we're going to jump off of here real quick. What do you got, Russ?
I was going to say I'm doing the after call here when we sign off. So don't go nowhere, Bear Down Mike.
Bear Down Mike, come on in if you want to. But I got to jump off of here, Russ. It's been so awesome with all of you guys tonight. Thanks to everybody in the comments. Hey, it's a great day to be a Detroit Lions fan. It's a great day to be an NFC North fan. God bless each and every one of you. Peace out.
Peace out.
What's up, y'all? This is Ifati Malafanu, safety for the Detroit Lions. And I just want to take some time out to give a big shout out to Russell Wayne and Main Event Mike from the Detroit Lions Villain Squad. It's a fan page and a podcast. And I just want to say I appreciate the support of me and my team. And I encourage everyone to go check out their podcast and check out their fan page. Go Lions.
Yeah. Thank y'all for joining us tonight. I got Bear Down Mike here in the back. I'm getting this stuff all rear, and I want to make sure that you guys get a chance. If you didn't already, if you were watching on the Detroit Lions news or you were watching on the Villain Squad, I'm going to throw the link to our YouTube in there because we're trying to grow that too. That's Football Talk, Main Event 365. Thank you for watching. Who you got in this game tonight, Bear Down Mike?
Eagles. Not really trusting the Seahawks.
I'm glad to have you in here because I know that, you know, a lot of the other people didn't come in and we didn't even get a chance to even really go over this Bears game, and I had a nice little cool little graphic for it and everything right there. But what were your thoughts on that? You're ready to kill Darnell Mooney, aren't you?
It's expected. He hasn't been great all season. He's been, when he does get the ball, he's been dropping a lot of passes. So I wasn't surprised. He wasn't expecting it. But when it lands right in your chest, hang on to the damn thing. I mean, with him dropping passes, the rookie Tyler Scott dropped some passes. Robert Tonyan on that deep shot, that was a touchdown pass. Like it was terrible. The weather wasn't right, but we all got to play in it. So it was a good game. It was better than I thought it'd be.
That's a good Browns defense, isn't it?
Oh my God, they just plowed through that O-line, and Justin was running for his life.
That defense is, I think, is better than San Francisco's defense. But,
yeah, well, I was gonna bring this up. When they played San Fran, Brock Purdy went 12 for 27 for 120 yards. He was 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
That defense is legit. That's legit. Built around the defense. Built around.
And one of Justin's interceptions will be taken off because it did hit the ground. The first one before the half.
They can get after the quarterback, and they got cornerbacks that can cover. Like all of their guys, all their guys can play, and that secondary, and they stick to those wide receivers, and they get home with 4. They'll get home with 4. They'll get home with 3. Yeah,
and Myles Garrett just lures back and waits for an opening to go. We lost Tevin Jenkins to a concussion during that game. Braxton Jones was just getting eat up. They're tough. They're tough. They stopped the run. We stopped their run. Dante Foreman only had 6 carries.
I was rooting for you guys, man. I put my lock pick on you guys.
Cover the spread.
Darnell Mooney failed me. I had it. It was in his hands. That lock pick victory was in his hand. 4-point victory. Oh no, actually, I might have still won the lock pick because of the point spread, because I think it was 3.5. If it was 3.5, I still got it.
Yeah. Well, I know there was 36 seconds. Tyler Scott missed about a 25-yard catch. It hit him right in the chest.
Yeah.
And drops it. I was like, oh, come on, just wasted time. But
hey,
this is how it goes. As the NFL, you got to catch the ball. I do think we'll still keep Justin, just because you can see the holes on this offensive line, the wide receivers.
You like that future, though.
I love the future.
That's where the Bears are going to be vying right into that spot. I love our Lions' future too, because I think that we're there where we need to be, and it's just going to be a growing thing from here. But I can't. It's like watching a sophomore team. If you're a college fan, like watching the Lions right now this year is like watching a really, really good national championship contending sophomore team. Like a sophomore. And I know all of these guys are going to be coming back, and they're going to be they're going to be juniors. They're going to be graduated into the NFL for veterans here in a couple years, and they're already really good. So it feels good.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? We beat 2 out of the 3 teams with a winning record these last 3 games.
Yep.
So I can't be upset, man. We got the Cardinals next. Should be good. Should be a bounce back win. I don't know how mathematically we're still in the playoffs, but I guess we are.
Well, yeah. You guys could. What are you at?
We're at 5-9.
I don't know about 8 and 9. That's a pretty long.
You guys, like last year, you guys didn't make it on 9 and 8. I was like, oh, it's not going to happen.
This is different. We got a whole bunch of these teams. Like, look at this. We had a couple of them get knocked out there. But you got the Saints at 7-7, Vikings are at 7-7. And I think that the Seahawks could win tonight. If they win, they'll be at 7-7. You got the Rams at 7-7.
Yeah, so I think for us, we have to have. You guys don't matter. I know it's New York we need to lose. Green Bay, obviously Green Bay and Vikings, Seattle and LA to lose on out, and the Falcons. Actually, we need the rest of those teams to lose. But I'm not. This wasn't a playoff year, anyways, for us. I didn't even think we'd be in the hunt for it.
Yeah, but then there's this.
That was an ass whooping.
They got back on track, man. You know how it is. You know, you get in slumps with your team, and you just want them to get out of that funk. You know, it's like, and you could just feel it. You can feel that they're in it, like they're out of sorts. You know, you guys were hitting us on those deep shots. I noticed that when Russell Wilson took those deep shots, that he was trying to beat us the same way that the Bears did. But Ife Melifonwu, they I don't know what they changed up on their defense, but that was a no-fly zone, and those same deep shots they were taking, they figured that out. So
yeah, that's a great bounce back win. Like a statement win right there.
Yeah, but you know how it is. Like, you want to win, but, you know, it was like a 5-game funk, even in the wins. You know, no one gave us any credit on that New Orleans win because there was some ugliness to it. And then, you know, when we beat you guys, it's like there was a lot of ugliness to that win, you know. So it had been a minute since the Lions had put a complete game together where they played pretty good. And it wasn't even the best game that they could have played. They started out flat. I mean, first 2 possessions, they didn't do anything on it. You know, in the third quarter, they still gave up a touchdown and gave up part of the lead, and they didn't score. But, you know, they finished, you know, 42-17. That's the way you want. I like that they ain't going to be playing no Marty ball where they're just going to run, punt, and try to give them other possessions. They're running their offense at the end of the game. So if you get to 35 and you're trying to come back, you're going to get the full brunt. I don't care if you got 17 points or not, you know. You're going to get the full offense. You're getting the full smoke all the 4 quarters, and I can tell Dan's got that.
Yeah, with your guys' next win, you clinch the division.
Well, I'm not going to count any chickens, but I feel like they should have that mentality. Go in there and get it done.
Who you guys got next?
Minnesota. I mean, this is it. I mean, there ain't, I wish you would win. No, we're going to go in there head up. They're the division champs. We'll go in there and take that shit right from Minneapolis. Pull that trophy. Pull it over into Detroit. And they can come back on week 18 and get that smoke again.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't want to get too cocky, but I feel good after that win.
As you guys should, man. That's a great win. I don't blame you guys. Hey, I was celebrating when we beat you guys by 2 touchdowns. I didn't think it was going to happen, but
if you're a Lion fan out there, feel good. And this is why I would say for any team that wins any game, it's like the NFL season is a fun season, whether you win or lose. The Lions have been losers for so long that you got to find happiness in the NFL season somehow when your team's losing. But it's been a fun season. Last year was a fun season.
Oh, last year was boring for us. Justin was the reason we were in games. He was the offense.
But I'm just saying that, you know, at least the people that have been coming up on this show and been coming around.
It's been a good year. I mean, we got so much hate for that Montez Sweat trade. Even you guys were like, that was terrible. He gave too much. He leads 2 teams in sacks right now.
The thing is you can give too much and it's a good trade for you at the same time. I think I even said that when it first happened. It's like, the thing is you have all these draft picks, right? So that's cool to have all the draft picks, but at some point in time, you got to put veterans on your team, and they can't all. You can't have 53 rookies on your team that, you know, because we have for 2 seconds, and it's like eventually you run out of roster slots.
Right.
And now you're trying to make your team super good. So I liked it from that point of view. If you guys could get a long-term deal done.
Yeah, we got that done. We got that locked in. 3 days after he shows up.
Yeah. So there was that 2-day window. He came out with that, he was like, oh yeah, I don't know. I'm going to see what I'm going to do. And then 2 days later he signed. So
yeah, big fat contract.
And he deserves it.
Yep.
He's an impact player. And now you have draft picks that you can put around these veteran players that you have now on all 3 levels. You're paying a defensive end, you're paying a couple linebackers, and then your back end is filled with a bunch of young guys that are on rookie deals.
Yeah, and we still got the Jalen Johnson thing we got to get done. That has to be done.
Yeah, but you got the cash. I mean,
we got the money.
You can keep your veterans, and then you have a shitload of draft picks, so you can make sure that you're loaded up in your depth with talent. It's exact. I mean, did you take the Lions model? Well, maybe you did it with a draft pick. We did it with Stafford, but picking a couple times in the first round.
I mean, I think Pole's going to trade at that first round pick. If Marvin Harrison doesn't come to the NFL draft, he stays 1 more year. I heard somebody took a $21 million NIL deal to stay. So who knows?
Well, it is what it is. The thing is that there's more talented players than Marvin Harrison Jr.
If I was Poles, if that's true, I'm getting. I mean, 3 number 1s sound pretty good to me right now. That's what a lot of GMs are saying for that first round pick. I mean, it's not a bad idea. I mean, if we're getting a second round pick for Justin or 3 number 1s for the number 1 pick.
Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out how much Ryan Poles is a believer in Justin Fields, because if he moves, the thing is he could draft a quarterback number 1 overall and keep Justin Fields. There's nothing. Why wouldn't you?
Well, here's the thought I had. If Flus stays, keep Justin. Right? That makes sense. If they move on from Flus, get a new coach, then you draft a quarterback. Don't play this carousel of getting a coach, then inheriting another player. Then that coach doesn't work out. Player stays, hire a new coach. That player moves on, like the Trubisky, John Fox thing. Like, I'm so sick of it.
Yeah, I think that you move on from Flus at the end of the season.
He's a great DC, just a terrible head coach.
Yeah, I think that you gotta move on from that, and then I honestly and take it for what it's worth, but I think that they will move on from Justin Fields, and Ryan Poles will put his quarterback in there. He wants to draft his guy, bring in his coach, draft his quarterback in the same swoop. You already got a young, good defense. Go in. You got the draft capital over the next 2 years to pull that off. And especially if Marvin Harrison waits, well, shit, go ahead and grab Caleb Williams or whoever the quarterback is that you like, number 1 overall this year. And then next year, go grab you a Marvin Harrison.
Well, there's no guarantees the Panthers keep winning. They won yesterday, so.
You're still going to have 2 top picks.
Yes, but Caleb Williams is not a guarantee yet.
You guys are about ready to do what I like to call, and it's a famous move that the Lions would do. It would be what I would call the injury tank. You're not tanking. You're going to play full on and everything, but you're going to see some guys be like, oh, shoot, my big toe hurts. Oh, injured reserve. Like stuff like that, because you want to keep a lot of your really, really good players that are, for next year. You don't want to get them injured. You don't want them to get no Achilles and have to be rehabbing. You ain't winning anything. So it's like there's no shame in that as long as you play full games, But some of these guys are playing injured. It's like, why risk your body? Why risk your body if you don't have a shot? Let some of these younger guys play. Let put that guy on the injured reserve that's hurting and, fighting for your team. Let him go to injured reserve. Bring the guy up from the practice squad and let him get some reps. Let him learn the system in live game reps.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me.
I know I think Brisker is going to be a Pro Bowler next year. That kid is tough.
I love that pick.
God, him and Stevenson and Gordon together, that's a good backfield to have. Those are some good corners and safeties.
Funny thing as a Ohio State fan is like I watched Justin Fields' entire college career, every single game, and I also know about Jaquan Brisker. As you know, him being at Penn State, he used to give us fits. He used to give us fits all the time. It would be Justin Fields would throw all these picks against Brisker. Got him a couple of times during that season where they won all those big games. But it's like Penn State would always give Fields fits, and Iowa's always got a good defense. They never have any offense. So, but. Anyway, but I gotta get this. I gotta roll here. I gotta roll off. This is like last call. We call it like the last call.
Sorry to make the show. I fell asleep for a little bit.
You're all good, man. You made the show.
I usually make the show. I'm here every day. I rep my team.
Yes, you do. But it could be the greatest Bear fan of all time. Take care, Mike. Take care, Bear Down, Mike. Yeah. And here we go. We're getting ready for Monday Night Football. Who do you got? We got the Eagles. Eagles and the Seahawks. I don't know if I want to. I actually would root for the Seahawks to win this game because I'm one of those Homer Lions fans. I think that the Lions can win out. And everyone always wants to talk about what happens if they lose all three of their games? And it's like, I don't want to think like that. I want to think like this team's a good team, and this good team can beat this Minnesota Vikings team and win this division. They are good enough to go into Dallas and get a win. And, let the cards lie. Let them lie. See what happens. You never know. Just keep playing good football. You're just getting started. It's going to be a tough out. The NFC race. Thickening up. 3 games to go. 3 games to go. Drew Lock, the savior, going to start for Seattle. Hey, if they get knocked out, then the Lions clinch a playoff berth. Wouldn't that be something? Hallelujah. Well, you've been watching NFC North Open Mic with your host, Main Event Mike. He's doing this each and every Monday at 7 p.m. Join me tomorrow morning. I'm Russell Wayne. Football Talk with Russell Wayne. Tomorrow we're going to go over PFF. Yeah, we got the PFF. Where do I got that? Not that one. Where do we got that? I got the PFF tomorrow morning. Football Talk with Russell Wayne. And then Wednesday is all Lions. But faith, family, football, in that order. Join me. Join me at church. This is my church, NTC Church. Bristol Belsey Road, Burton, Michigan, Genesee County. We're a service church. We love to serve. We love to help. We love to pray. 400 turkeys for Thanksgiving. And Angel Tree. Angel Tree is what we're doing for Christmas. Needy children need gifts too. Try to buy as many gifts as we can. So faith, family, and football. Family first. Family and then football. Use football to bring your family together. Don't let football use you. So when you lose, don't be a dick. And I want to leave you with a blessing. I want to say a blessing over your life, and then we'll talk to you tomorrow. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again tomorrow morning for Football Talk with Russell Wayne. God bless you.
It reminds me of a football show, Football Talk with Russell Wayne, 11 a.m. in the mornings. You should watch it because it could be good for you. It could be good for you. It could be good for your life.